My God. Hi there, my little demons and divas, and welcome back to my channel. This video is so hard for me to make. I should have made it like a top 20. I might have to do like part 2 and part 3 of this video. But a while back I asked on Instagram a poll about a countdown list style video that you guys wanted me to make. And a lot of you wanted me to do my top 5 favorite Brock Lesnar matches. And it was so hard to narrow it down to 5. So if you guys want a second part to this, because I have 5 more and 5 more and 5 more. Let me know. Give it a thumbs up so that I know, and then I can give you my other favorite Brock Lesnar matches. But before I get started, please make sure you go follow me on all my social media at NYC Demon Diva on Twitter and Instagram. All of my social media on the description below. And I would love to thank Popl for sponsoring this video. And I told you guys about Popl before, but it is so awesome. You just put it in the back of your phone and it is literally like a business card on the go. Okay, so like if I ran into Brock Lesnar and I want him to have my social media information with Brock, I'm a huge fan. You should check out my content. All I have to do is just bump Brock's phone, see the pop-up come up right there, then you touch it, and all my social media information. So I don't have to stand there and say, okay, go follow me on Snapchat, go follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube. All you do is just link it, and then all they have to do is click on there, and it will take them straight to those social medias that you want to share with people. Like, it's really cool. And with my link, you get 20% off. So if you go and purchase Popl using the link in the description below, I will give you a shout out on my next video. Right now, the shout out goes to Liz, the owner of cabronaperocute.com. Make sure you guys go and check out her boutique. She purchased Popl and she tells me she is loving it. So there's that. All right, so oh my god, guys, how am I supposed to like take Brock Lesnar and like give you guys only 5 of his matches? Because there's so many Brock Lesnars, right? Like you have before he left Brock Lesnar, New Japan Brock Lesnar. You have after he came back Brock Lesnar. So these are my top 5 favorite matches from after he came back Brock Lesnar. And the reason why I'm using that is because that's when I have actually been watching wrestling the most, right? I've been watching wrestling for a while, but a lot of it was on and off. But you good? Okay. I've been watching wrestling a lot, but it was on and off, like watching in a way where it's been like nonstop. It has been probably since like 2014 on. So I figured I wanted to make it fair and talk about the Brock that I know. The Brock that I watch nonstop. And I can probably give you even more than this. Like I said, leave it in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to give you 5 more matches. But right now, I'm going to narrow it to, if I bring somebody here and say, I'm going to have a wrestling watching party and we're going to talk about our favorite wrestlers, and I have to show a couple of matches to prove why I love Brock Lesnar's work, these matches will be the matches that I will show. For Beastie, the mayor of Suplex City. So at number 5, I cannot believe I'm saying this because clearly this didn't end the way that I wanted it to end, but I absolutely have to include Brock's performance in this year's Royal Rumble, the 2020 Royal Rumble, where Brock came out at number 1. And he lasted half of that Rumble, just eliminated contestant after contestant. And the way he sold when he finally was eliminated by Drew McIntyre, it was incredible. And the way that feud was just set up right then and there, the way Brock just looked at him when he eliminated. But Brock was having so much fun out there. We saw him dance. We saw him reunite with Shelton Benjamin for a second, and then like we saw him having to wait around because he was eliminating people. We saw him we got that brief face off between him and Kofi Kingston after like a lot of the fans thought that he took the title in a very unfair way, so people were dying to see that face off again. Didn't end up the way Kofi Kingston would have probably wanted it to, but it was so good just to see. There was so many moments in that first half of that Rumble, and then after he got eliminated, it got even better. It was such a moment, and he like just build the beginning of the Drew McIntyre era. You know, he went on to win the Rumble. He didn't even have to, if you really think about it, because just the fact that he eliminated Brock was just set up enough. But they went all the way in, and they're still all the way in. Drew McIntyre, which Brock went on to sell his little ass off for him at WrestleMania. But there was like my favorite moments from Brock's performance at the 2020 Royal Rumble was when he saw Kid Lee. Big boy. Like I said, when he saw Shelton Benjamin, I absolutely loved that. When he went after Elias, when Elias didn't want to get in the ring, it was so good. I didn't like when he eliminated Shinsuke. It made me sad. But yeah, I thought that the way that Brock performed in that Royal Rumble was just memorable. It was a really good, well-booked Royal Rumble, and you should go back and watch it. And I got to be there. I was so excited when he was eliminating everyone. I got a little mad when he lost, but that's beyond the point. I really, really love the way that Brock performed, and I have to include it in my current top 5. At number 4, this is the match where Shots for Brock, the stream that I do, if you guys haven't checked it out, usually on Periscope. Sometimes I do it here on YouTube as well, but I do a stream called Shots for Brock, and that stream was born from this match. I remember when they announced this match, I was so excited for it, and then I remember going live so that I could take a shot per suplex that Beastie hit, and that match was against AJ Styles in a champion versus champion match at Survivor Series 2017. Oh my God. He does so good with smaller contenders, right? Like we have to, his match against Daniel Bryan was amazing. I couldn't fit it in here, but it was also amazing. It would probably make top 10 if I was making a top 10 video. In addition to that, his match with Finn Balor, even he did good with Rey Mysterio. He does so well with smaller opponents, but there was just something about AJ Styles and the way that AJ Styles was like building up offense here and there. It was actually believable. And when AJ had him in the calf crusher and he just fucking slammed his skull against the fucking mat to get out of it, like I thought he killed him. AJ Styles sold those suplexes so well. Is there anybody better than AJ Styles? And when AJ Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, and you already know that the destiny says that he's going to get caught into the F5, it was just such a perfect match. And I never forget that we were supposed to get Brock versus Jinder. And that would have probably never made any on my list. So I'm so excited that they went with this version better, and it's one of the matches that I go back and watch. At number 3, the classic, probably one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time in history of all of wrestling, and that is Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2014. The birth of Suplex City, not officially, but it was definitely, without a doubt, the birth of Suplex City. The way that John Cena sold for Brock, the way that he got barely any offensive, the way that Brock was a monster, as he should have been. He just ended the streak. Once you give him that moment, that this is how you should have booked him, and they did it right. And the fact that John Cena just allowed himself to literally be murdered on live television, then you hear the little kid in the background, "Let's go Cena," as Cena is literally dying in front of him. The theatrics of that match is just beautiful, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, and it was probably too one-sided for most people's taste, but for me, it was absolutely perfect, and that is what it makes my top 3. At number 2, all right, hear me out, but one of my favorite Brock Lesnar matches is his match against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31, where we all know the ending was Seth Rollins coming out to cash in. My current top 3 favorites are Roman, Seth, and Brock. So getting all 3 of them in that match was amazing. Getting a cash-in on the main event of WrestleMania was amazing. And the fact that Seth got to capitalize because these 2 dudes had just brutalized each other throughout the entire match. Because I'm sorry, they win hard. That is such a hard-hitting match. And then when Brock is hitting... when Brock is hitting Reigns is just laughing about it. That was so sexy. And when he takes off the gloves and Suplex City, bitch, and then the crowd chanting it the next day. That next day, everybody screaming Suplex City, and Brock just hearing the chants and laughing, like realizing, like, oh shit, that took off. It was one of the greatest Brock moments, like matches and moments, in my opinion. He came back the next day. We write him off television by getting suspended because he was so pissed off about getting cashed in on and not getting his rematch that he F5'd Michael Cole. Never forget that moment because it was beautiful. But I think the match was amazing. The cashing was amazing. Nobody expected that at a main event of WrestleMania. It was epic. It really was. And just like Roman and Lesnar just they went hard in that match, and I appreciated it. I loved every second of it. So for that, makes my number 2. And my favorite, probably the one that I have watched the most, it is the triple threat match between Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and John Cena at the Royal Rumble 2015. I know a lot of people hated that Royal Rumble, but it's like after you got that triple threat, in my opinion, the greatest triple threat in history, who cares if the Rumble sucked? Who cares? You just got that amazing match. I feel like that match was Seth Rollins' coming out party, because how do you come out in a match against John Cena and Brock Lesnar and you still get to shine? Cena was, of course, amazing. Like, I remember he got to F5 both JJ security at the same time. Brock was put into there was a moment in the match where he's laying in the announce table, and I think Rollins does a Phoenix splash from the ring onto him, and we go into like this fake carrying him out in a stretcher because he has broken ribs. And first of all, I've had broken ribs, and that is painful. So I don't even know how he was able to come back. But then he comes back and still wins the match. I always love when they do that with Brock. Like, there's no beating him, and it felt like such a well booked triple threat. Like, I felt like all the guys look good, and at any moment, any given time, any of them could have won that match. That match is a classic. And like I said, in my opinion, one of the best triple threat matches of all time. It was booked perfectly. You got to showcase Seth Rollins against like two huge names. And Rollins, of course, takes the pin. So you protected John Cena in a way, because John Cena. And then like Beastie, of course, like just dominated, killed it. So yeah. And the way Beastie takes the curbstone, going back to WrestleMania 31 too, and now this, like, Beastie can take a curb stomp. From the build up to this match, like Seth Rollins curb stomping a few times, and then he curb stomping at WrestleMania, and he can take those curb stomps. Beastie is, in my opinion, one of the best sellers in wrestling, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. Beastie will sell his ass off for anybody. Like, it doesn't matter who's getting off. Remember when he was on that feud with Samoa Joe, and he would like get all red when Samoa Joe had him in the coquina clutch? Like, God, Brock is such a good seller. But there you guys have it. You guys know I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan, which shocks a lot of people. But yeah, he's like one of my favorites, if not my favorite. He's up there for me of all time. And I think that people are starting to finally appreciate him. But I think when he's no longer wrestling, people will speak about Brock Lesnar and his legacy for a long time to come. I think he's also the last real draw in WWE right now, because we're not building any new stars. So there you have it. I've been dying to do a Brock Lesnar video on my channel, but it's very hard to just narrow certain things down, because I could watch a lot of Brock Lesnar matches. So if you guys want a second part to this video where I share another 5 matches that you should go watch, let me know with thumbs up, and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite Brock Lesnar match? What's your favorite Brock Lesnar moment? Let me know in the comments. I might do a second part where it's like moments, because Brock has had a couple of moments that have nothing to do with matches, like how I just mentioned the F5 to Michael Cole. Maybe that could be the sequel, so I can just keep talking about Beastie. All right, guys. Until next time. Adios. Mwah.
Yeah. Demon diva, quite the screamer. Cursing, tease ya, hurting, please ya. Spot her out in any of y'all arenas. Break the meters, get way too excited, watch her boot up. If the lady could, she get lady wood until you know who we can suit up. I get a girl a salute, wrestling down at the rope. Y'all gotta run with the group, wrestling with the commute. Yeah, that fire glows. Time for the show.